See, everybody, we're doing it. We're doing something. It's happening fucking finally. Because, look like
Yeah, they're short.
oh my god, those things were almost $200. Alright, now leave me alone and let me fucking work. It's greatly appreciated. Finally, after a long slump of shooting, was able to get back and capture some more footage for episode 5. You saw a little clip at the beginning there. It was little dialogue scenes between Vectar and Spooky Booty, which not only is great because I was able to finally get some more goddamn footage. I've reviewed everything in my edit, and it's doable. It's within reach, and every time I'm able to knock out one of these shots, gets me a little closer fucking my goal, which is finishing episode 5 somewhere around the end of 2019, early 2020. But what was sort of remarkable about this episode is that I was able to solve a long-standing problem that I've been dreading and sort of idealist on for years. I had to recast the role of Spooky Booty. And before I get into that, I'm gonna just give you a little history of the character and how she came to be part of the psychedelic universe. It's quite an intriguing tale, and it all goes back to when I was on Can't Get a Date. After Can't Get a Date was picked up by VH1, they spent a year, because my episode was the pilot, they spent a year putting together 20 more episodes, and they hired a staff. And there was a girl working on the staff. I'm not going to say her name because I'm going to respect her privacy. But, and she was the After Effects person, and she was doing a lot of the motion graphics and things like that. And she was very cute, and I used to go to the office a lot to just fucking hang out and just see, because I couldn't wait for my fucking episode to be on TV. This was around 2005. And the episode didn't air till 2006. And anyway, I got a little chatty with the chick that worked over there, and we wound up dating a little bit, and she actually became my girlfriend, and we dated for 5 years, believe it or not. And we also lived together, believe it or not. And as I was wont to do at the time, I slapped a mask on her and made her a character in my story. I hadn't even created Vectar yet, and the Crystal Pharaoh was still going by Darth Vader with the flocked Darth Vader mask with the Kangol helmet, and I was still very much just the Suck Lord. I had already Mary Papers already existed, and Crimson Suicide was already somebody that was in the works. And, I just was getting giddy with the supervillain shit, so I would just slap a mask on the women in my life and be like, okay, you're a supervillain now. Wanna fuck? And I had a studio over there in White Street, and we're chilling, and I'm going through all my stuff, and I put the Mouth of Sauron helmet on her. If you ever saw the rap group Lords of the Rhymes, I portrayed Mouth of Sauron. I had this modified Boba Fett helmet that actually wound up becoming the Sucklord 16. Didn't look right on her, and then I reached into my very shallow bag of tricks and pulled out this Dr. Doom mask. This was left over from a prior Halloween when the Crystal Pharaoh dressed up as MF Doom and then let me keep the mask, and I slapped it on her, and it just looked so fucking funny and incongruous. It's like the most unfeminine thing you've ever seen, but she made it look cute, and that was it. She was done, and then it was going to become an action figure because I needed material. And her favorite horror movie was Suspiria, and I wanted, so that was going to be the figure, Suspiria. I don't know why. I mean, I didn't think things out as much back then, and it wound up being my first glow-in-the-dark bootleg figure. I think this was around 2006, and I needed like a little tagline for the character, and one of her more distinguishing qualities, and one of the things that attracted me to her in the first place, is she had a rather prodigious backside. And we all used to make fun of her because she was Chinese, and supposedly Asian girls aren't supposed to have big asses, which is definitely a stereotype and not true. But nevertheless, it was we used to just joke about how big her butt was. A gorgeous, beautiful, beautiful ass. And the tagline for the figure was, because it was Suspiria, it was scary, it was like spooky, right? So it was like spooky cutie with a booty. And that seemed a little wordy, so we just cut it down to Spooky Booty. Aren't I the most clever wordsmith you've ever met? And that was it. She was a character. And then when we started making the original villains episodes, around whenever the fuck that was, I just slapped the mask on her, put the camera in her face, and said, "Okay, go!" You know, and we shot a lot of Toylords stuff even before Toylords was even coming out. And also, I have to give credit where credit is due. I mean, when I first started making these movies, I didn't know how to do it. I was just getting started on Final Cut Pro, and I was really green, and she knew exactly what she was doing because that was her profession, and she helped me with the fucking editing and things with Photoshop that I didn't know. She was very instrumental in my expanding of my Photoshop skills, which is evidenced in all my brilliant package design, and especially how to do the editing stuff and the special effects. In fact, she's the one that designed the Sucklord's lightsaber. I just gave her the idea of like, oh, it's like a lightsaber, but it's got like electricity on it, and she actually went in After Effects and created that chaotic electric lightsaber vibe for the first episode, and then the very talented Tyler Ham had to mimic it for episode 4. But as far as I know, in all the worlds of Star Wars fan films, I don't know if there are any electric lightsabers, but it looked really good, and I just want to make sure that she gets credit for coming up with that shit, because I didn't do it. You know, she's in episode 5 as the original girl, but it's not the whole fucking thing, so I needed more. So I reached over once again and tapped the endless resource of J-Corp and put the mask on her, and it looked, you know, just like her. But, you know, J-Corp is also a very attractive woman, but she does have a slightly different build, and I wanted it to be consistent. So I actually went... I went to the drag queen store up in Midtown. What is it called? Bra Sensations, or Bra Forest, or something Bra-tastic, I don't know. And bought these big ass butt pads for fucking damn near $200. So now you know where your hard-earned money is going. And she put them on, and the original Spooky Booty was also kind enough to leave me the dress that she wore for most of the episodes and photo shoot. Doesn't really have any smell left, unfortunately. And that was very kind of her. I think, you know, we're still friendly, but, you know, our relationship ended as these things do, and she's moved on with her life, and I wouldn't ask her to come back and fucking revisit all this crap. You know, it's pretty weird, you know, 10 years after the fact, where I first started creating this, and one of the very first villains scenes I ever shot was with Spooky Booty in that same apartment, and then just seeing like another girl in the same outfit looking so much like her, like 10 years later, still sort of acting out the same sort of things, was really bizarre. It felt like sort of slash fiction of my own life, and I couldn't really tell if, like, after all this time I'm still chewing on these same old ideas. I couldn't tell if that was fucking awesome or pathetic. It's probably something in the middle. But J-Corp did great, and it looked fucking convincing as fuck. So I guess that problem is solved. So that's it for that episode. Thank you for supporting. And we're gonna do more Toylord stuff in 2019 and try to fucking land this sucker. So Happy New Year, everybody, and I'll see you on the other side.